I don't think that my answer is very like black or white on this, because I think there are situations where, you know,
you need to cut people
where you
off.
need to cut people off. Like if I am hanging out with a friend and like they are draining me of my energy, I think it's not so much like a cut off, but maybe a drift.
Okay.
You know, but then also like what is the difference between that? Because to me it may seem like a drift, but to them it could seem like a cut off.
Mystic, tell me why. Well, there's a word in Korean when you're like singing, but like you don't even realize that you're singing, but you start singing because you're so happy. What is it? I think it's 콧노래.
콧노래?
Like I think it's like nose singing.
콧노래?
I don't really know, but I think it's supposed to be like 콧노래. Because 콧노래 sounds weird.
Yeah, that does.
I think it's 콧노래.
콧노래?
Yeah. I'll
That's
fact
cute.
check with my mom and dad.
Okay, Miss Fact Checker.
Yeah. It's the holiday season. So holiday meaning, well, happy holidays.
Holiday meaning happy holidays.
I didn't want it to be inclusive, but I didn't want to just leave it at Merry Christmas. So Merry Christmas.
Happy Kwanzaa.
Happy Hanukkah.
And whatever other holidays we're missing, because I think those are the big three, right?
Yeah, coming in with lots of information. I think I want to start off with football.
Of course.
We had the tournament.
Let's go Turkey Bowl.
And we were very consistent. Very consistent.
I love consistency.
All 4 games.
All 4 games.
0-4.
0-4. You were the 0?
We were the 0. We were the 0. But I think for a team, and this having been our first tournament, I think we did absolutely amazing. So like some of these teams, some of these other churches that participated, like they've played with each other for a couple seasons. But some stats.
Okay.
Right. So we played 4 games.
Lost 4.
Yeah. Yes. Lost 4, 0-4. And in total, I pulled at least 16 flags.
16?
Yes, 16 flags, and I sacked the quarterback 3 times. So those are my stats for the game.
Julie, that's great.
So I'm just so happy.
I was very sad to miss it, but I also had a great time in New Mexico, so
That's good.
it's all right.
That's good.
Yeah. I am getting ready for Love Bowl. Anyways.
So yeah, that was a really fun time. And yeah, just, you know, God will use me in many different ways, right? I bought 3 cleats. You know, I own 3 cleats now. And everyone was like, oh my God, why did you buy so many? Well, you know why I bought so many? Well, one of our quarterbacks forgot her cleats. And I brought 2 with me. That's why God had me buy 3. Which actually then segues me to the next topic of how in the first game alone, I think I had maybe 9 flag pulls.
Okay.
Like of my 16, I think 9 of them were from the first game, right?
Wow. Still lost.
And yeah, still lost. Yep, still lost. But I actually had a nail appointment the night before, and I was like, this is one day, this is fine. So I got my Christmas nails.
Oh my God, so cute. I saw them.
Christmas nails. They're not climbing. Stop touching them.
Oh, they're so cute.
And they were clearly not short enough, because this one lifted in that first game.
Oh my gosh, I see it.
But I think my skin has reattached itself to the nail, and I think there's like air in there or something.
There's a bubble.
Yeah, there's a bubble in the nail.
Yeah.
But told my nail girl, follow her, Nails by Shay, and she was like, oh yeah, come and get it fixed, but I'm a little too lazy to drive to her house. But
where's she based?
she's so nice. She's in the Glendale, Pasadena area, so let me know.
Oh, nice.
DM me.
Guys, it's like snow and Christmas. Oh, I don't like that. I really hate that. I feel incredibly uncomfortable. I don't like that at all.
Yeah, so I just wanted to shout her out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have candy canes and green. So
That's so cute.
check her out. Follow her on Instagram.
Yeah, no,
And then very briefly, I know this is very overdue, but my last check-in is about Banff. It was amazing. It was amazing.
Yeah?
It was, I am so sorry to tell you guys that there was absolutely no family drama on the trip.
Wow.
Like, I think there were maybe like, honestly, it was maybe me and my dad
Okay.
that maybe like started a little bit.
Right.
And I think it was just like, I was irritated because it was like, I think it was the third day. Or I
Right.
think it might have been, Thursday, Friday. I think it was the fourth day. It was the fourth day.
Okay,
so, right?
so
So
you're getting
3
towards
nights
the end of
spent.
it, yeah.
3 nights spent, fourth day. And we were just at breakfast and my dad had asked me to ask the concierge about a map. And right, that's like not very difficult. But I think it's the fourth day. And so I was just like, I have planned so many other things. Like, can you not just ask for the map? Right? So then I kind of like went off on him.
Right.
So that was definitely me. But that was about it. That was as
Sassy as you
close
got.
to drama as we got.
Oh my gosh, yay.
But we did so much there. Like tea party at the Fairmont Banff Springs Hotel, Lake Louise, the Upper Banff Hot Springs. We went to the beer festival,
Right.
which actually that one I do want to share a little bit about. So they were sold out for months, right? But then I told my sister about it. Well, actually, the way I found it was they were like, "Oh, you really need to visit the Cave-In Basin, which is like a hot spring.
Okay.
You know, that smells like eggs."
Yep.
I did
the sulfur.
yeah, but I didn't really want to go to the Cave-In Basin. So I look it up and it actually turns out they're closed because of the beer festival. So that's how I found out about the beer festival. And then I told my sister and she was so determined to go that she like followed this Facebook group chat and found 2 tickets.
Nice.
Right. So then they transferred and all that stuff. And then we found another woman that had 2 tickets, but she was so Canadian that she didn't have Zelle, PayPal, or Venmo and only had this thing called e-transfer, which is basically Canada's Zelle, right?
Oh.
And so we kind of gave up because then we like hopped on the flight and then whatever. And I did have a thought like the hotel is kind of nice. Like maybe the concierge would help us out by like
Right.
doing the e-transfer for us.
Right.
But then I kind of forgot about it. And as I was talking to the concierge, like it was brought up again and he was like, yeah, I'll do it for you. Like, why don't I like, and he brought it up because I had totally forgotten to bring it up to him. So that's how we got it done.
Oh my gosh, so nice.
So if you're there and you want hotel recommendations, hit me up. I will let you know.
Oh,
And
that's so
it was so great.
fun.
Yeah, if you feel like you're close enough to me, then I will share with you my Excel spreadsheet of all our activities.
What do you mean if you feel you are close enough to me?
Oh, I don't want like random people. Like I don't want to be sharing everything to all these random people.
Oh, she's a
know?
gatekeeper.
Well, I'm not because everything I found was on the Lake Louise travel website.
Oh.
But yeah, I bet a lot of you didn't know about the tea time.
Yep.
That's
Okay,
a
great.
goodie. That's
Okay.
a goodie.
Well, you just shared it on here, so no
Waldhaus.
gatekeeping in this household.
Okay, yeah, no gatekeeping. Just ask me and I'll send it to you, I guess. What about you?
It's so fun. Yeah, what about
New
me?
Mexico.
What about me? Yeah, so New Mexico was so much fun. But actually before that, let's get into so Essie had their football game against Notre Dame.
Yes.
And it was so effing fun. I think
Yeah.
like the week prior you had gone to the SC UCLA game and I was like kind of sad because like my entire family went without me to the SC UCLA game.
They did?
They did. And like I couldn't go because I was working and I was so effing sad. And then in order to make up for it, my dad like bought these tickets and so we were right on the 50-yard line. Like there was a crazy woman in front of us who she said, I've been going to these games for 70 years. Like, you know those people, those like alumni-ish people like who are just like insane.
Okay, that makes sense because I told you like the people around me were like kind of old too.
No, yeah.
but-
It's like they peaked in college.
or they're the ones like what is it? They're
Like
the ones.
donating and all
No,
that?
they're the ones that are preoccupying all these tickets.
Oh, so all the young people can't.
Yeah.
But it was so fun.
So she was SE though.
Yeah, she was
Okay,
SC.
good.
She was just so funny. Like,
Yeah, that's good.
like definitely on shit.
Okay,
like
good.
was
We would have vibed.
vibed. Yeah,
Yeah.
'cause she was like, as soon as she sat down, she's like, I need a cocktail
Yeah.
immediately. So it was
Was
great.
she alone?
No, she was with her husband.
Okay. Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
That's
So super fun. So yeah, I went with my dad and my sister. My dad purchased 3 street dogs, dirt dogs,
No, there's another
street
word.
dogs.
Glizzies. Why? Why are you laughing? Am I missing something here? Because I didn't know they were called glizzies, and then I was like, "Well, why is it called a glizzy?" And they're like, "Oh, it's just a street dog." Why are you laughing? Why are you laughing?
Because glizzy is just a funny word.
Are you sure?
Think about it, miss. Think about it, Miss Ma'am.
I don't know. That's what I'm asking you.
Anyways, so yes, consumed some glizzies.
Okay.
And then consume some popcorn. I love some kettle corn, and let me think what else. I don't know.
Okay, I got kettle corn too.
Yeah, you have to do the peanuts, kettle corn, and the street dogs.
Yeah, but
that's
not the chicken and waffles.
No.
Yeah, not the chicken.
No, don't like actually get food there. I don't recommend that.
They gave us an ice cream cone.
Oh.
And
nice.
chicken tenders.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Anyways.
And so I came back home, and I've just been in a pho mood. I've become a soup girly. I was never into soups. Did you know this?
I did know this.
Yeah.
Because, even at pho, you would always get the vermicelli, no?
Yeah. Always.
Yeah.
No, I've been like craving pho. And so that leads us into Santa Fe, because tell me why the best meal we had there was the pho.
In Santa Fe.
Yeah. So in New Mexico, right? They are known for their Mexican food. Obviously, not good at all. And so I think I realized on this trip how incredibly spoiled we are to be from LA. It legitimately makes it difficult for us to travel and enjoy food. And so yeah, the pho there was great. We literally went to a little Asian grocery store. It was
made it?
No, we didn't make it, but
okay.
like it was right next door. It was like called like A1 Oriental Grocery, and I was like, oh my gosh, they use that word here. Oriental. It was crazy. But I will say, I think I recommend people go to Santa Fe. It is such like it gave me Austin vibes, like up and coming. Like they have a bunch of like hip coffee shops and like cool restaurants with like an industrial feel to it, like kind of like Arts District-y Austin.
Okay. Like lots of bricks.
More like poles and like concrete and stuff. Like,
okay.
And then they even had like a koi pond in the middle of one of the restaurants with a bunch of greenery and like skylights and stuff. And so it was great. Honestly, I think like even nature wise, like, so I was talking to my friend Colin about this earlier today, and it was just like, oh, are you a nature person? And I was like, not necessarily. And he explained it perfectly. It was like, I don't seek out nature, but I will go along if someone else plans it. So I think same thing for Santa Fe. Like I would have never gone there, but like because it was like in my life, I would have never gone to Santa Fe.
Yeah.
Never New Mexico.
Yeah.
But because it was like for an occasion, it was just like, oh, this is cool. Like it was honestly great.
Well, how did you guys like land on Santa Fe?
So it was a friend of a friend's cousin. The cousin had gone to Santa Fe and had recommended it. And so I was like, oh, cool. But I think it like, you know how they say like nature is like healing, and like I think even like for ourselves, like, right, you always feel good when you come back from nature. And so I was like, wow, maybe I need to spend more time like visiting all the national parks, because like I haven't been to any of them. Yeah, so it was a very healing trip. I feel like all of my trips this year have been like low-key exhausting. You know, like you just like go, but like this one was like perfect.
That's good.
Yeah, so it was great.
That's good.
I came back feeling refreshed. I'm trying to like wake up earlier, and so if you see bags under my eyes, that is why. I had to take a nap today. I literally, you know what I've been doing is literally waking up at like 7 and then like going to the gym or like going on a run or like, and then like meditating or journaling, and then I'll come back and I'm exhausted. So at 11 a.m. I'm taking a nap.
Didn't you post? Didn't you take like 4 naps one day?
I did. To
How
be honest,
do you take 4 naps?
They're like short. They're 15-minute naps.
Are you sure they're 15 minutes?
Yeah, I'm sure. That's the ideal nap time. Because otherwise then I won't be able to sleep at night, and then the entire sleep schedule gets messed up.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you could tell, but I'm like having a difficult time like opening my eyes right now.
I did too. I really think it's the lights. It's the lights. For some reason, maybe it's because it's getting darker earlier. It's like hurting my eyes.
It's hurting my eyes.
Yeah.
So maybe we need to put on our new sunglasses.
They are green.
They are green. They're gifted by Covry. Thank you guys so much for sending
I didn't even know they were green.
Yeah, Julie put yours
they
on.
didn't look green.
Like earlier, right? It's because now you can see them in the light.
Oh, that's cute.
Thank you.
Should we just do the episode like this? Because these
Honestly,
lights
this
are
is nice.
Yeah. These lights are really harsh.
Yeah, they're really bright, so I'm low-key down. But yeah, if you guys want to check out Kovri, they are an Asian-founded business, and they're making sunglasses specifically for low nose bridges. So if that is you, check them out. I got the Marac L in olive.
I got the Vega in walnut.
Yeah. So thank you so much, Kovri. Check them out.
thank
It's Shop
you.
Kovri on Instagram, and then you can go to their website. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So this week, we're going to talk about, I don't want to call it the negative Nancy, but the reason like the topic of negativity transpired was because we were coming back from Thanksgiving. I didn't have such a good Thanksgiving last year.
Right.
And I think I was just thinking about like dynamics, right? People who are Debbie Downers, negative Nancys, or just kind of like shake up the
The mood,
like
the
the
vibes.
mood, the vibe,
Yeah.
just the entire experience. So fortunately, that wasn't my experience this year,
Right.
But
we've like all experienced those kinds of things.
Yeah.
Whether it be like through the holidays or not. Like I think it's
Yeah.
very normal to encounter like just people you don't vibe with, or people who just give off like some bad vibes.
Yeah.
So
And I have to be very honest. I have been a negative Nancy before.
same.
Handful of times. Actually,
same.
like, and it's funny because I feel like there's some people that might not be so aware that they are being a negative Nancy.
Right.
But I feel like I know what I am, which is also very much in correlation with being hungry, hot, or tired.
Wait, yeah, literally trifecta. Like
Yeah.
and the thing is I am all three of those things on my period. Always, you know?
But I feel like you do a good job of like not showing it.
Oh, I really try. Except
To not show it?
to not show it. Except
Yeah.
for the tiredness. I feel like it's always the tiredness that gets me. Like I've just been exhausted, you know? But
Yeah.
all is fine. But I guess like in general, I mean, do you consider yourself like a pessimistic person?
Absolutely not. Just I guess TLDR, like the straight answer would be no. I do feel like I try to think of I'm a realist at the same time, but I'm
Right.
not pessimistic.
Right.
Right? Like I'm a very hopeful person, and this kind of takes me back to one of our initial actually episodes in season 1 when we took all those like tests.
Right.
Is that I have like a lot of zest for life, right? And so I mean, everything's connected, right? I think I've said this repeatedly, but I'm very much everything happens for a reason, and when you look at things in that way, then you are not, I don't want to make such a bold statement, but it helps you to not be a pessimist, because I guess you are like accepting
Yes.
of the situation.
Yes.
So there's nothing to be pessimistic about.
Yeah, because I think, to be quite honest, it's very easy to take on like a victimization mentality. And I think
Yeah.
pessimism is like strongly correlated to that, because
Yeah.
it's just like, if you are constantly thinking that like things aren't working in your favor,
Yeah.
they will not work in your favor.
Yeah.
You know?
And I just hate that. Like, there's so many factors, but like what's in my control, right? You think about what's in your control. Like, and the thing is, the shit already happened.
Right.
Shit already hit the fan. Like, why? Like, for me, it's more angering to sulk in it longer than I should have.
Right.
Because then with that time, I could have been doing something more valuable.
Right.
So I'm not saying I don't get like sad, and like, I mean, I do have emotions, and I will let myself sit in those emotions.
Right.
But yeah, going back to the pessimistic part,
Right.
I feel like you can use your time better.
Yeah. Yeah. I completely agree. Even like, right, people always say, I feel like I've been seeing this on the dating apps a lot, on the guys' profiles, of like, I want someone who doesn't take life too seriously. And I think like that is kind of a part of it, right? Like when things go wrong, which they inevitably will, like
Yeah.
it's better to just not like dwell on it. Like let yourself feel those feelings, be like, that sucks. But then you can move on from there once you've like acknowledged and validated like your own emotions, you know?
Yeah, and this is kind of going on a tangent,
Yeah.
but do you really feel like the guys believe in that? I feel like, I mean, I haven't been on the apps in a while, right? But I could totally see so many people write that as a prompt
Right.
answer, and them not living out what they're not preaching, but what they're writing out.
I know what you mean. I think that maybe guys view girls as more uptight and like particular. And so I think girls have probably more of a tendency to bring up like things that bother them, not necessarily big things, but like the small things. And so I think that's what they're talking about. You know, like I think that girls are less likely to embody the phrase like choose your battles. I think they will choose every battle more often than guys will.
Really?
Yeah. Do you think so?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
I feel like we're more strategic with our battles. Like I can totally see women bringing something up because they know it's going to be a domino effect into a future problem, right?
Oh.
Whereas, honestly, with a recent conversation I had with one of my friends,
Okay.
I think they're more dismissive.
Guys are?
Yeah, so they won't even address the problem. Like if we're talking about like addressing every problem and then being more strategic with addressing a certain problem, I think we are more strategic with addressing the problems and they don't even entertain the thought of addressing the problem. I think they're more dismissive about it.
Ah. I agree.
Okay, great.
I agree with you.
Great.
Wait. And then just to expand on that, I think it's because I think that has to do with the fact that a lot of guys don't know how to process their emotions. Like they've never like had to like think about what they're feeling, right? They've been invalidated from the beginning. And so they like simply do not know how.
Yeah. And so I can see where somebody I've dated was, I would consider them pretty pessimistic. And I don't know, it was always something that I noticed. It really didn't bother me.
Okay.
But I will say, as somebody who like thinks of the future a lot, and like I was just thinking about like our potential future household, like I think it was a little concerning because it was like or at least in my family, we are all very big optimists. My mom loses something, like she's kind of optimistic about it, like, oh well, it is what it is, or you know, we're very much like a jolly family, right?
Yeah.
But I was like, like I feel like we would have run into like parenting issues, right?
Yeah.
Because like our initial reactions would be different to certain situations, right? Like I could totally see myself being a bit more encouraging where like, I don't know, he might have stirred up like, yeah, he's out to get you. Or like, oh yikes, yeah, he's doing that because he sees his competition and blah, blah, blah. You know, like kind of like planting like that like pessimistic seed.
Yeah, no, completely. I think that's something that like and maybe this is like the whole question of like nature versus nurture, but like I think also in my family too, like I think my grandma is like the biggest optimist, and it has definitely come down like I think genetically. Like I tend to be like very like happy and whatnot. Like I'm pretty happy for most of the time, hopefully. But then also I think it's a nurture thing as well, where like we're constantly like saying like, oh, parking gene, like I'm gonna get good parking, like, oh, my parents are lucky, and so like the entire family is lucky. So I think it's just like in the patterns of thinking as well. So I think it is both, and like similar to your family, like we're relatively jolly. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah,
I couldn't think of another word. It's the holidays.
It is.
And actually I had another comment about it. Just this is also kind of a tangent on our tangent, but I don't know what it is. Okay, so I've identified that, right? In a guy, like I've identified in this next guy, like they need to be kind, right?
Right.
I think there's one more thing I've identified.
Okay.
And it's somebody who can say sorry. Like I'm trying to break down, like I'm sure there's a better term for this.
Right.
But I think like everyone has an ego, right? Like I'm not trying to find a guy who like doesn't have any ego, but I think there's this huge misconception where guys think like, oh, being alpha is like not apologizing, being on top, like alpha dog, you know, right? Like I feel like there's this misconception like that is alpha, right? Like
it's almost like an arrogance.
I am respected, like you are below me, like you like you know, you cook for me, you clean for me, I bring home the money. Like I think that is the misconception. That is so not it. Like I have been chipping away at identifying that. I think it's just so mature, as I think we all kind of know, but it's just so, it's mature, it's respectful, it's so manly when you can like say sorry about the things that you are actually apologetic for. Right.
Right. And it shows a lot of like just self-awareness, which I think is attractive. Like I like when people have like a view on themselves that is like relatively accurate.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, and I guess I brought this up because you had mentioned just how guys are unable to process their emotions, or a little less than women, or a lot less than women. But yeah, that's kind of what like the light bulb went off, because like when you are able to articulate how you feel, then then you can understand like maybe the way you feel you've made somebody else feel, and you're able to like apologize, right, or even that perspective of trying to place yourself in somebody else's shoes. So that's why the light bulb went off.
No, that totally makes sense. That totally makes sense. I'm glad that you're analyzing and reflecting and thinking about your future partner.
Yes.
Yeah. It's so funny because like it literally I was talking to one of my friends, and like they were like, oh, like what do you want in your next partner? And I was like, someone who's nice. And they were like, is that hard to find? I was like,
it is.
It can be. I mean, I don't think it's hard to find, but it's just, I think it's an important factor. So along with the niceness, I like that. Someone who can apologize.
Okay, sorry, we really need to get into the topic, but I have another comment about that, because being nice and kind are so different. Did we ever talk about this?
Okay, please explain.
Right, like people in California are nice for the most part. I think people on the East Coast are kind. Right? You get a flat tire, people in California will sympathize and empathize for you.
Yeah, but
like,
oh
dude, that really, dude, that really sucks.
Right.
That's it. In the East Coast, they're like, you effing stupid ASS, like, why were you driving on the blah, 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 blah.
Right.
Give me your car keys. And they're like under like the car, trying to take out the wheel, take out the nail, put in the new tire. You know? And I don't know, I always think of, you know that TikTok couple? I don't remember the girl's name, but the guy's name is Vincent. They have a thick Jersey accent, and they are so mean to each other. Oh. Dude, if my partner ever talked to me like that, I would just like slap him in the face. Like they're so, to me, it seems like they're so mean to each other.
Right.
But I think deep down inside, they love each other and care for each other a lot.
Right.
But yeah, so that's why like, I think nice is a very
like superficial, like surface level thing.
Like nice would be when you're unable to tell like give somebody like radical candor, right? So like nice is just like, oh, like, yeah, you're doing great. But kindness would be like also saying you're doing great, but also like providing the pointers where you can improve, or it's like that genuineness of like, because I care so much actually about who you are as a person and where you end up, and like just your livelihood, I'm also going to tell you the things that you don't want to hear. That's kindness.
Yeah. No, I totally feel that. Okay, future partners.
I want a kind person.
Yeah. No meanies.
You too.
Yeah,
you want a kind person.
Me too. I think I'm pretty nice, so.
But to continue on the actual topic, what do you think? You're a pessimist?
So I don't consider myself a pessimist, but I will say I go through my like pessimistic like phases, right? Because when I think back to season 1, like the fact that I was taking those personality tests and like a zest for life was missing, I think that was a huge like telltale sign of like where I was and like how low of a place I was in at that time. Because I think naturally like I'm pretty optimistic, like I have energy for like when I want to have energy, you know, like of course like I'll have my chill times and whatnot, but yeah, I think that like I will go through those phases occasionally, but then I also have kind of the optimism that like when I do go through those lower times in life, I can pull myself out. Because right, like when I think about like my friends who are like struggling, or like my sibling who is struggling, or like parents or family or whoever it is, like the only person that can pull yourself out from those deep like dark times is like yourself. Yeah. Like I think it's hard to watch from the sidelines, but it's almost like the only way out is through. Like you just have to go through those times. Yeah. And it's the whole like, right, you don't know happiness if there's no sadness, no lightness if there's no dark. And so,
but it also reminds me of what you shared about what your dad said to you, right? Because the reason why the people around you cannot help is because you might not be ready to hear the advice that you actually need to get yourself out of it, right? So It's almost like in one ear out the other. It's a time of when, like, it's nice to know that you have support. It's almost like also analogy, like when you know you can't go to the event, but you want the invite. So you want people to be there to be supportive, but they're not actually like supportive in that, like you wanted to hear the things. You just want to know that you have the community.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. No, totally. So yeah, I don't consider myself a pessimist. And then honestly, if I ever am in those phases, like I'll probably try to change to like be a little bit more optimistic of just that whole mentality of like everything happens for a reason. Like this sucks, but we'll get through it. So yeah.
And I think the more I think about it, I don't know if I have like pessimistic friends. Like I might have had some friendships where it was a bit one-sided.
Okay.
Or the conversations weren't fruitful, right? One or the other, we graduated from each other-ish type of situation. But I don't know if I ever had any like, actually, like if you count complaining, like sure, maybe like one.
Maybe this is a good point to bring up. I think we have different standards or levels of what we think pessimists are. Because when I think about some of the people that like overlap in our lives, there are 100% pessimists in there.
Oh, that overlap in our lives.
Yeah. Should I name them on here? And okay, this is kind of getting into woo-woo shit, but woo-woo shit. But I think that there are lucky people and I think there are unlucky people.
Yes.
And I think that it perpetuates on itself. So I think that the lucky people will always like kind of have random luck things happen to them. And then I think unlucky people, same thing. Unlucky things will constantly happen to them. And it's, you know, from an outside perspective, it's just kind of like, oh, why is this happening? Like, why is she having such a great time in life? Like, why does she, you know, like, why do things always work out for her? And then I think there are other types of people where it's like, oh, another thing went wrong. Like another, like there is another issue.
Yeah. So okay, then yeah, definitely. I think our definitions of pessimism is different because, like, when I went, she got a ticket for being on her phone, right? That was very preventable. You know what I mean? I am more so like it's a little like I think luck is just so small. I think it's really all our efforts that helped us to get to that place, and it's a little bit of luck, and then boom. Right? So like even like I don't know, coming across a good job opportunity, well, you know what, maybe you applied to like 200 other ones, right? So you are setting yourself up for that type of success is like the way I view it. Right? So like I feel like, I don't know, say you opened, I don't know, a case of maybe perfume that was glass and it shattered. Well, why were you opening it like not on a table, you know, and not like opening it carefully? Everything, like I just feel like it's preventable.
I see.
Like if you get a ticket, well, you know, you're not supposed to be on your phone, so why were you on your phone?
Right.
Or like what have I done? I don't know, like, oh, like when I sat on my parents' coffee table, and it snapped in half. Well, that was definitely my fault because I put my entire weight on. I put it on one side of the table, and so the stand that holds the table, where that like pole bottom part ends, is where it snapped. Right. Because all my weight was on one side. Right.
That makes sense.
But yeah, so maybe if you like, okay, sure, but maybe they're just not as aware of their environment, right? Like I'm very like, even like cars, right? So I make sure, actually I don't make sure, but I think about these things. Oh, like your car's probably, there's a bigger likelihood of it being robbed into maybe in certain parts of Los Angeles. Yep. Right? Yep. Like stuff like that. So like my mom and dad, even on this trip to Banff, if you find a indoor parking lot or like a closed off parking lot, a lot safer than street parking. So I found a street parking, and they were like, no, move. Like we paid $14 for parking. But it's Canadian dollars, so it's probably like $10 US.
Oh, okay, nice.
So, you know, stuff like that. Right. But like you can take preventable measures. So
I see. So
I'm more logical about those things.
Yeah, I think I'm more woo-woo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I don't think I'm very woo-woo.
Yeah, I'm pretty woo-woo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You and our other friend.
Yeah, and my father as well.
Is woo woo?
My father is very woo woo. My mom too. My entire
Woo-woo?
yeah. My mom is like probably my sister's probably the least woo woo. But like they have always spoken like, oh, like this is because of prayer, this is because of God, this is because of luck.
I'm like that too, but
this is because of superstition, you can't write your name in red, like all of that. The amount of times I heard like you are the chosen one from my dad. Holy shit, I am the chosen one because of how much he has spoken into my life.
chosen one like in the family? Just chosen one in the world?
Just in general.
God's chosen one?
I don't know what the reference point is, but in some way or another, I am chosen.
Yeah. No, our friend Claire is.
Who's Claire?
Claire Chola.
Oh.
Her jersey was chosen one.
Oh my gosh.
She is the chosen
one. Oh, that's amazing.
Okay.
Okay, so yeah, we're both not pessimists in this household.
Yes.
Awesome. And I guess like I'm trying to think of like other people who are kind of pessimists. I don't think that I surround myself with a lot of people who are like pessimistic about life, but I will say there are a number of people who can be a little complainy. I don't think that's necessarily like pessimistic at heart, but they just like, that's their thing. They just like hating on things or like complaining. Like it's almost like that's what they it's like just like a critique on the experiences that they experience. You know what I mean? Like if they have a Yelp profile, everything is 1 star. You know, they're not the 5-star reviewers. They like 34 reviews consistently 1 to 2 stars. You know? Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, not necessarily like pessimist at heart.
Maybe I feel like the people that are a part of both of our lives, like maybe I feel like I don't see them as pessimists, is because, I mean, I've always known this about myself, but I'm such a selective listener.
Oh, so maybe
I
you
feel
don't
like
hear
I
it.
don't hear it.
Wait, yeah.
Yeah. And you know me, I remember like very random details.
Yep.
But I think I just choose not to remember those.
Oh, yeah. So
Those
you
things.
will be an optimist
Yeah.
in Julie's eyes,
I
no
choose.
matter what.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Huh. I think that also like it is kind of related to like you just want to see the good in people.
I think I do.
You know, like it's almost like a naivety to it, but I think it's like self-preservation.
Yeah.
Like low key.
Yeah.
Like just like only good vibes, only good energy.
Yeah, because I know that I am affected. I mean, we can get into that actually. Like it's weird. Like I know that I get affected by negative vibes. Mm-hmm. But going back to an earlier statement I made about like how if I am affected for so long, or if I feel like I am in a negative vibe now, like I would be more angered by the fact that I let somebody
affect you that much.
my mood. So then the way I think is like, I can't let them win like that. Like that's why I always say I'm competing with myself, right? Like somebody else's negativity made me upset.
Right.
The amount of upsetness I feel then is like, what? Why do they even have that type of power over me? Like, I'm not gonna let them do that to me. And then I'll get like competitive, like they don't mean SHIT. So get over this. Don't feel negativity. Like don't let it affect you. And then I try not to.
Whoa.
That's kind of the way the Julie brain works.
Cause okay, so a recent example, right? I've been going on dates here and there, not too many. Like I've gone on 2, but like with one of the people, like I think that they've been less responsive on their end than like they previously had. And it's making me really anxious, right? Like I'm feeling very like, oh, if this person doesn't text me, like it's been affecting my day. And so like, how do you approach that situation? Like, is it literally like, I'm not going to let this person who doesn't mean shit to me, like affect my day? Like is that how you think?
Yeah, I think, yes, think that way, Hannah. Well,
Like how?
Okay, like
how would
everything
you
is so
approach the
gray,
situation?
right? Yeah, everything is so gray. Well, first of all, I think the dating, like the talking phase is so hard, right? Like, have you guys met?
We met once. Yep.
Okay. Like, is there a second meetup
Yes.
set?
Yes.
But is that gap between the first and second, like, has that been too long?
It's been
'cause
too
of your
long.
trip?
It's been too. Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's been like 2 weeks.
Yeah, I feel like the trips really like mess it up in between.
They really do. This is a really tough time to be dating, to be quite honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's and now that we're like not in like COVID anymore, like people actually like
Have
lives.
jobs. Or like have to go into work.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, like have responsibilities. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess like I honestly I think I would think like that to myself. Like why am I letting him affect me this much?
Right. And so that's kind of how I've been trying to think. Like I'm like, why, like it's fine. Like I've been trying to like just like be like, oh, it's just your anxiety talking, but like
and then that's why, you know, people, I cannot be guaranteed that they will make me happy. But that's when I will kind of then, you know, kind of front load on the things that do make me happy.
K-dramas.
Right? Yeah, like certain like lovey-dovey shows or
Legally Blonde.
Trader Joe's ice cream sandwiches, Pringles, chili lime.
Yeah.
You know, just kind of front load it all. The things that make you happy, or you hang out with other friends and you make plans. You have so many friends.
No, I know. I've been like very busy.
Yeah.
And so I think it's helped.
And not that like, okay, so here's the thing. I don't like, I know you've told me that I give off like mysterious vibes, and I don't think I really don't intend to, but I think if this man thinks that I have nothing to do but like wait around for him, well, I need to kind of like, you know, I'm not that I need to prove myself, but like he needs a little fact check there. I guess I am a really big fact checker. Yeah. Just like oh hey, like I'm not available actually. Right? Like I just think he needs like a wake up call, like, oh, actually, you know, I chose to spend my time with you, but I could be choosing my time to be spent with all these other people, which you do. Like, I mean, you have work, you have the gym, you have podcasts, you have church, you have literally so many different groups of friends that you could be spending that time with all those people.
Yeah, 100%. Like, hope he knows. I wonder if he would listen to this, but hope you know that literally I have plans every single day this week.
Yeah.
Like, I am unavailable except for the day that you chose. So, lucky for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. So that's kind of like how I think.
Oh, okay. Okay, I like that. Thank you. I needed that.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Also, wait. So I think on social media and stuff, there has been a lot of discourse around cutting people off. Do you believe in cutting people off?
Also, long answer short is no.
You don't believe? Okay.
I don't believe in that because this is a Julu fact. Some scientist, some author, some publicist somewhere in this world, right, said that humans, we have that 7-degree separation rule.
Right.
Like truly anybody you meet, if we were absolute strangers and you were not Korean,
right,
somehow through 7 degrees of separation, like we would be connected.
Right.
The reason I point out Korean is because if you are Korean, it's 2 degrees. 1.5.
I think it's a 1.5.
Yeah, maybe 0.5.
Yeah, genuinely.
Yeah, like if you are Jung too, who knows? We might be family members.
Like we are related.
Yeah, we are related.
Yeah,
and so especially in the Korean community, I think like, and this is something deeper that I need to kind of crack down of like, why do I not want to be so vulnerable, or why do I not want other people to know so much about me? Like, maybe I fear a bit of the judgment. I don't know. Or I don't want people to have such an opinion. Like, I don't even want them to have an opinion.
Like, don't perceive me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, so that's something I need to figure out. I don't even know if I want to figure it out. But, that's why, like, with the Korean community, truly everyone knows everyone.
So
to get to my answer, just, even if I wanted to cut somebody out, I feel the repercussions of cutting somebody out would impact so many other relationships that I have, could have had, want to have. Like relationships as in like friendships or even like coworkers, church connections, you know?
Right.
Because you guys, just like the UC system alone and KCM and crew and just... I am eternally grateful I did not go to a UC school.
Oh God, yeah. No, yeah.
So that is why. You know, you just don't know. Like, especially like, you know, like the school you went to, or even like our generation, there are a lot of like second, third generation, like Korean Americans in our circle.
Yep.
Right. That means that their cousins, their second cousins, their parents know so-and-so's parents, went to school with so-and-so's parents. Like,
yeah.
and here on out, it'll be even more.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Oh, yeah.
So that's just one example.
Right. The repercussions, you're right. I don't think that my answer is very like black or white on this, because I think there are situations where, you know,
you need to cut people
where you
off.
need to cut people off. Like, if I am hanging out with a friend and like they are draining me of my energy, I think it's not so much like a cut off, but maybe a drift.
Okay.
You know, but then also like, what is the difference between that? Because to me it may seem like a drift, but to them it could seem like a cut off.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. I think maybe it's just like a confession, right? Honestly, if you look through like all of my maybe followers or following, I could probably unfollow like more than half of those people.
Yep.
I give zero farks
Right.
about these people.
right.
Why are you laughing?
Because the Farks was so aggressive.
And I think it's just me. I don't want to cause drama. Right? I don't want to be a part of drama. I don't want to need to explain myself, or like maybe be upfront like to myself, with myself, about why I feel a certain way about a certain individual.
Right.
So yeah, maybe I've like silently like a silent killer, you know, like I've silently cut off some people, but I think I do not have the courage to like actually cut off.
Like be like, I don't want to be friends with you anymore.
Like unfollow you. Or and even tell them maybe. Because I know some people who have sent texts like, I appreciated our friendship, or I do appreciate our friendship. I like you and I love you a lot. Like friends, right? Like I love you a lot, but I think it's best that we go our own ways.
Right.
Like I've never had to do that. I don't ever see myself doing that either.
So, right, there are times when it's necessary to cut people off. But then on the other side of things, like I have noticed that I'm very bad about like, I think being communicative about like the problems I do have. And so because I'm avoidant of those things, the solution has been, okay, we're no longer like gonna hang out. You know what I mean? And so,
but I had another thought. Right? Like I think for me, I don't like, for those who do drain me, I don't even think I give them that many opportunities to think that I was cutting them off.
Oh, like so you don't hang out with them that much.
Yeah, like we would hang out so sparsely,
right?
That shifting into not hanging out does not equate to a cutoff, because I never hung out with them or gave them my time, gave them the time of day, like to begin with. Like I didn't give them enough from the start. Whereas I feel like for you, you would feel obligated to hang out. So you really don't want to hang out with them, but they think that you like hanging out with them. So then all of a sudden when you guys are hanging out, say on like a bi-weekly or a weekly or who knows, a monthly basis, and all of a sudden that goes away, then it's like, wait, what happened?
Right.
You know?
Oh, interesting. I think you're right. You're 100% right. And if anything, it's monthly. But even that frequency is too difficult.
Oh yeah, that's so much.
Like, right? Like
that's so much.
I was thinking about like the girls recently, like our just 9 group of girlfriends. And I'm like, damn, I really be seeing you guys like three times a year. But actually you're right. For the dinners, it's been a lot more. Yeah. I think I just feel especially distant as of late.
Why? We just had Thanksgiving at my house.
I think I feel distant to the friends that we're missing.
Oh, yes.
Like, I feel bad about my object permanence issues. Like, as soon as my friends move away, it's like they never existed. Yeah. So I think I think that's something I want to get better at for next year, but that'll be another topic.
Yes.
Yeah. So, yeah. Do I believe in cutting people off? Yes and no.
Yeah.
Yes and no.
Because do you feel like draining friends are like draining to everybody?
Yes.
Yeah? Or because I was going to ask, or do you think it's like you because like you are so good at like not initiating, but like you're such a great active listener, right?
And I know. Okay.
So like I don't know, like a little bit of that. Or like feeling so comfortable that they feel like they could open up to you and stuff like that.
I think no.
Like they're draining to everyone?
I don't think that they're draining to everyone.
Uh-huh.
I think you're right. I think it's almost like I have become so aware of how I converse with people in making sure that rather than like you say something to me and then I start to open up about an experience that is similar because I relate, rather than doing that, I never talk about myself, or I really try not to, because I have like heard from psychologists and therapists that like sometimes like shifting the conversation away from that individual like takes away from their experience. And so I think in that way, my answer is maybe it's me and the dynamic of them, because I only listen and they only speak.
That is so interesting, because I could totally see that you say psychologist, but then I would also think that if somebody like was going through a hardship, that they'd want to know like, oh, I'm not alone.
Right. And so I think that was like always my way of like relating to people, was like, oh, you're not alone, I had a similar experience. But then after learning that like sometimes that can be invalidating, I was like, oh, I need to just stop that. And then maybe,
but also like, not that you're not even intentionally doing that, you know?
Right.
Like, is it really in your control to like set that was an invalidating experience for them by you sharing your story? You know?
So that's the thing. It's like it's just like a just in case. So I just like will not share like a related experience.
So then they would end up talking, and then they would just suck the energy out of you.
Yeah, like I'll get bulldozed in conversation, you know? And then like I like talking, I like hearing myself, I make myself laugh, and so maybe
I make myself laugh too.
Right.
Yeah.
You have to laugh at yourself. And so maybe sometimes I feel like it's not the right setting to like speak as much. And so naturally I feel a little bit more drained when I have to do so much listening, and I guess they don't pick up on the fact that
because you don't express it on your face.
Because like I don't want to be like
me.
No, I wasn't gonna say you. I don't want to be like, what are you gonna do? Make faces at me when I'm talking too much? How do you do that? How do you inaudibly communicate that?
I don't know. Well, I mean, that's the thing. You don't get to that point where you are so drained. You need like an escape plan. You know? Draining friends. I think I'm very vocal. Like, it really goes back to me. Like, if I feel like I'm getting tired and I can no longer be actively listening and being of, I don't know, support or kind, right? Then I need to not remove myself from the situation, but I will like just express like, I'm tired, like for the sake of myself, like I need to leave.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So similar to like pessimistic people, I feel like I don't surround myself a lot with people who drain me, because I value and guard my time so much.
Yeah, right? I am genuine. I think because of the curiosity aspect in me, I guard my time less in case of the opportunity of learning something. So I see where we differ.
But confession, I will say, like, maybe I've become a bit more like this. Like when it comes to like nature. Is this the nature? The surroundings part is nature?
No, that's nurture.
Nurture? Because of the nurture? Maybe like I know that you always know. Like I feel like I get so much information from you. So maybe you sit through those conversations and then I'm like, oh, so what's up with so and so?
You better.
Oh, what's up with so and so? I'm like, oh, how was blah blah? And then you're like, something happened, and I was like,
So it's not a symbiotic relationship anymore. It's just parasite.
I told you about football. You were gone there. I told you all about that.
You're right. Oh my gosh, this
is just like a right now.
Yeah.
Like right now, I'm just realizing, yeah,
nice.
But yeah, I guess I'm sure just innately, like just a human being, I am curious, but I'm just like not that curious, right? And this goes back, I think, maybe to the heart motives.
Oh.
I just like do not care. I don't care.
She don't care.
I don't care.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, so it's kind of hard to talk about people who drain me because, like I said, just conclusion statement.
Right.
I don't think I hang out. Like I think I identify it so early on that it never comes to the point where they feel like I've cut them off.
Yep.
So
Okay, Miss Strategy over here. I like that.
realism.
Yeah, I'm gonna implement some of that.
All right. Very good.
Awesome.
Very good for the Q1 2023 proposal.
Yeah.
And so, though this episode is about like negative people, right? Like negative Nancy's, I've mentioned the heart motives. And in relation to that,
Yeah, if you haven't listened to that episode, by the way,
please,
go check it out.
I love it so much.
I know, liked by few, loved by many. Who are you? Who
Yeah.
are you?
Which one are you?
Yeah.
Do you feel like it's your responsibility to make sure that other people are having a good time?
Yes. So I think this was more so in the past, but I think that I put a lot of the burden on myself to make sure that my friends are having a good time. Right? Because we have those friends that, like, if they're not having a good time, it affects everyone. Like, their energy is so strong that they're able to just, like, kill the entire night. And so I think, like, seeing that and then not wanting my night to be ruined, I have always, like, kind of put it on my shoulders, like, oh, I can make them happier. Like, I can change the mood of the night so that everyone has a good night. Or, like, even, like, if I suggest the place and people aren't feeling it and people are complaining, like, I think I would always hold, like, that, like, burden to myself and just been like, oh my gosh, this is all my fault that nobody's having a good time. But it really, like, culminated at Camp Flognaw that one year that we went. I think it was like 2019 or whatever. Because I had been mixing a bunch of friends from a bunch of different groups, and I was so anxiety ridden because I was like, oh my God, people aren't having a good time. But then, like, it wasn't that people weren't having a good time. It's that I was prioritizing other people's happiness above my own. And so I wasn't having a good time.
Really?
Yeah, that was not fun for me. I was freaking the F out the entire time.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was like peak anxiety. I've never been that anxious in my life.
I had so much fun.
Yeah, I'm glad.
Who was I?
Minji.
I don't have any like photos with you.
Yeah.
I don't think.
I didn't see you
Who
that
did I?
much.
Who did I go? Like, who was I?
Rachel?
Was it Shin?
Shin and maybe Minji.
But then there was a point when Rachel like split off from you too.
Yeah,
so I'm trying to think about like who I was with.
I think
it was Shanae. I had so much fun.
Oh yeah, I'm glad. Because
I did not know that.
Yeah, no, I was freaking out. And I think after that, like, I really worked on my anxiety, and then I also worked on, like, not freaking out over things that aren't in my control, because at the end of the day, it is up to you whether or not you want to have a good time. And so now when I go out, I will have a good time. I can guarantee you every time I go out and want to have a good time, I will have a good time, because like, I can make a shitty night good. Like, I have things to make fun of. Like, I can complain about the DJ and make jokes and just, like, you know, like, workshop my jokes. And so I think it's just kind of like, I guess just like not feeling or not putting that much pressure on myself. Yeah. Like, and so I guess that goes for my friends too, where it's like, right, if I see that you're not having a good night, like, I'm like, oh, but that's your responsibility. Like, I'm not in charge of your emotions. Whereas in the past, I would have been like, oh, it's my, like, like, Julie's not having a good time. I have to make sure that she's having a good time. But then, I think about it and I'm like, that is like kind of ridiculous. Yeah. Because, like, everyone is allowed to have their off nights. Everyone is allowed to, like, just, like, feel how they feel. And so, like, why am I trying to change that? Yeah. Because, I mean, like, do you take on that kind of mentality of you being in charge of other people's emotions? No. Have you ever?
Like, maybe the people I love, right? Like, I mean, it's so context dependent. Like, if somebody is visiting me, like, and I do feel like, okay, maybe that context it's a little different, right? Like, they're coming to visit me, so, like, I do feel responsible and, you know, making sure that when they spent time with me in this city, like, that they remember the good stuff. Or even like my sister. Like, I think my sister, like, when we do like social activities together, maybe she is somebody that I naturally like care a lot about to ensure that she's having fun, but she actually always has a lot of fun. She's a Sagittarius, and I don't think a lot of people know how like spontaneous she is. Like literally grabbing like pancakes at 5 a.m., like stayed out all night type of vibes. Like she's like that. Like I don't think I've ever done that here in LA, you know? So I don't think people know, but yeah, she, maybe her, but other than her, I've never. I've never. And I think this goes back to just, you know, like, I don't know where, like why I came to this realization earlier on, but yeah, just like I do not, like I knew I don't have control over that, right? Like, and once again, I don't know, it's the competitiveness within me. It's just like, dude, well, I want, like, I think I would be more upset at the fact that we were out, say, at Star Night, and I had a bad day at work, and I was just like so ready to hang out with friends at Star Night, like go for a second round, a third round, whatever. Right. And then a friend was just like so attitudey, so negative, not having a good time. And it was like, as you said, say like bleeding into everybody else's mood. I would be more upset at the fact that I let that ruin my night than feeling like I had to make up for that person and how they felt about the night and their negativity.
I feel you. Yeah. Well, you were miles ahead of me, and I think I finally caught up on that.
Everything averages out.
Yeah.
Everyone will get there.
Are you gonna throw me a welcoming party? Yeah. You can't control other people's emotions.
Well, and I think it also roots from just, I like cannot, like I hate feeling stressed. Like I think it goes back to that too. She's like I don't know, like I think it's kind of crazy that I didn't know that you were so stressed or anxious at Flogna. I just did not know. Yeah, that's what sometimes, like, you know, ignorance is bliss.
No, yeah, nunchi
being up,
yeah,
like, where's the nunchi? I don't know, like I very aware that sometimes I have like crazy nunchi, and then sometimes I'm just like, oh, what? What happened? Oh,
honestly,
that happened?
Yeah,
what?
I think that's a blessing. I wish I had a little bit less nunchi. Because I also think it has to do with like me, like nunchi buying other people, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah. So
I think I'm just, like I said, I'm a very selective listener. I have selective hearing, but I think, yeah, I'm just so not a like me love, or I'm a little bit of love me, but not a like me in the sense where like I choose who to nunchi pa. Right?
Yeah, I nunchi pa everyone. I nunchi pa everyone in the room.
And I don't know, I think it's kind of, most recently, I feel like my personality traits of how I am have actually heightened.
Oh, she's more extreme now.
Yeah. Like, I feel that I have compromised a lot, like earlier this year.
Oh yeah, you need to get back to you.
Yeah, so maybe because I did so much compromising, I am
like recalibrating.
Not even to be recalibrated, I think I'm like going to the extreme ends.
Oh, I like that.
So
in what ways?
I don't know. I just feel more like all about loyalty, all about my happiness, like not caring about those that don't matter to me. You know,
it can be, I think, in some ways viewed as selfish, but then also in the other lens, it's prioritizing yourself.
Yeah.
I like that.
And
I love that for you.
So I don't think I'm quite recalibrated, but I think that was a great example of, because I was so much on this unknown side of maybe like not discomfort, but that wasn't really me, you know? Right. But I was like trying, to compromise that I need to jump over to this end to then maybe find like that perfect spot. Okay. It's almost like those people who didn't drink in high school and then go to college and then they go ham, right? It's kind of like that, right? Yeah. Like I'm going ham right now.
Okay, go ham. I want all extreme sides of Julie. Extreme makeover, Julie edition.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah.
Anything else?
I guess just to wrap it up then, just if you had one big advice for how to avoid a negative Nancy, or like what to do when you find yourself in a negative Nancy situation, like what would you recommend?
I think like if you feel like you have a close enough relationship with them, like voice it. I don't think there'll ever be like a great time or a way to do it, but like do what feels right. But also, if you don't think that the friendship is worth it, I think there are situations when you can cut people off. Like that's fine. But I guess like the way the reason like I don't like the idea of like cutting people off is because it feels so harsh.
Yeah.
You know, whereas like it can be a little softer of just, oh, let's just drift, like maybe decrease the frequency like you said. Yeah. Advice, final thoughts.
If I'm in a situation, yeah, maybe like calling them out. I'm just really trying to imagine myself like in that situation, right?
Yeah.
I think at least for me, I know how. I think naturally I'm a defensive person,
Right.
but because I'm so aware of it, I think I would probably use a lot of I statements or maybe in a happier tone, like joke about it.
Yeah.
Like joke about it. Like, dude, like, why are you so like?
Why are you so complaining?
Why are you such a pessimist?
Yeah.
Or like if they're complaining about it, like, well, this is what like my boss said, right? If you're gonna come to the table with a complaint or like a problem, like also come with the solution.
Yeah.
And I think that's a very like the logical side of me too.
Right.
Like I'm sure if a friend of mine was just complaining all the time, like I think I would just be like, okay, how are you gonna fix it then? Or like, you know, just kind of
Right.
like
Prompt
where's
them.
the end? Like let's get to the end of the situation. And so yeah.
I like that.
Maybe bring my logical approach.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah. But I don't think I'd ever like tell a friend like you're complaining a lot. Maybe my sister. But other than her, I don't know if I don't even know if you complain a lot. I don't think you complain a lot.
Okay, good.
But you know what's funny? I know when I complain a lot.
Oh, there are okay. In the summertime, I am a bitch. In the summer, when I'm hot, I'm a bitch. I will complain every 5 seconds about it being so hot.
Oh, are we talking about like that type of stuff? Because if it's that type of stuff, then I complain a lot.
Wait, what kind of complaining stuff are you talking about?
I don't know. I feel like our San Diego trip in August. I feel like I was so complainy that trip.
Oh, really?
I don't remember now like the specific complaints that I made.
Right.
But I remember maybe like 2-3 days into the trip, I was like, oh my gosh, why am I complaining so much? Like I was aware of my complaints.
At least she's self-aware.
I'm a self-aware queen. But every time I say it, when I think about that phrase, and I think about your dad. At least I'm self-aware.
Are you though?
But yeah. I guess the bigger conclusion is just, don't surround yourself with negative Nancy's.
Yeah.
Unless you're close to them and you can point it out and then they change it.
Right.
They change the habit. Maybe they weren't even aware.
Right. But then you're the average of the 5 people. So like, do you want to become a negative Nancy yourself?
And don't enable it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think I enable it. That's the thing. But maybe that's also why people will confide in you more than me.
Oh, because I will not aggressively.
I don't.
Oh, yeah.
Like, listen.
Julie just tunes it out. Okay, well, if you want to, get into a positive vibe, positive spirit, follow us on Instagram and TikTok.
Yeah,
at Prugi.podcast.
Yeah.
And then on Twitter at Prugi Podcast. Me on Instagram at HANAKATTT.
And me at BEJULIFIED. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Woo! Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and then shop Covery for the sunnies.
Yes.
Okay, bye.
Bye.